and gentlemen, they're back at it again in Galaxy of Heroes. Third Sister Reva is coming, and boy, has this faction been the topic of the past year. They've been shoving it down our throats! But I'll say this, I think a lot of my concerns about the Inquisitors are going to be resolved with the Third Sister. Here's what you need to know about the Third Sister in Galaxy of Heroes before we do the kit reveal. Third Sister is only going to be unlocked in the brand new territory battles, the Rise of the Empire. In Phase 3, to be exact, there's going to be a special mission on Tatooine that requires the Grand Inquisitor, as well as 4 other Inquisitors units at Relic 7. Oh! She's also going to be needed in a Phase 4 Dark Path battle where she's required at Relic 8. Holy cow! They're pushing the boundaries, aren't they, in Galaxy here? Even though Siege is confused if she's a tank or an attacker, she's supposed to be like a Darth Sign with a Held by Hatred mechanic, causing her to revive. Revive. God, I'm amazing. And the thing I'm most looking forward to is seeing the Inquisitors become a little bit more useful without Datacrons in Grand Arena. She's going to have several Grand Arena Omicrons, and they're saying she's going to rival several Galactic Legends. Well, we'll put that to the test, won't we? Now, it's not surprising. Reva is going to be replacing Grand Inquisitor as a lead, especially for Grand Arena. And what's also not surprising is this. Are you ready to prove that you're a true gamer and can take on a raid boss like me? Well, then you gotta download Raid Shadow Legends. These 600 champions stand no chance against the king of Triple B. They actually release content. Doom Tower with over 120 floors with tons of bosses to take down. They've released a legendary champion based off the MMA and pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. You can get Ronda for free right now. Just log in between now and February 20th for 7 days, and she's all yours for free. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get your exclusive rewards in Raid right now. So click on my link or scan my QR code, and you'll get rewards worth over $30. All this treasure will be waiting for you right up here. These rewards are only available for the next 30 days. Just a reminder, I'm believing since we have this kit reveal, we're probably getting an update this week that's going to be adding the new territory battles. And as I've been warning you guys for a few weeks now, check out this video if you haven't seen it in regards to your scavenger and relics. If you don't act and do things accordingly, you could probably lose potentially hundreds or even thousands of dollars worth of in-game economy relic pieces against your will. So be sure to check it out and take action. This is probably the week to start acting upon it. So let's get on into my citizens across our beloved Kyber Empire. Let's take a look at this kit reveal after that nice little introduction of what you need to know about Reva. Now, her kit is very robust, my friends. So hopefully you got your degree in swagology because you're gonna need it. For today, basic ability, no more hiding, deals physical damage to target enemy and inflict a stack of purge. Maximum of 6 as we know with the Inquisitors for the rest of the encounter, which can't be evaded if the target enemy is already inflicted with purge. Inflictability blocked for 2 turns and dispel all debuffs on Third Sister. A self-cleanse capability on a basic. Ooh, that's actually kind of good. You don't want your tank having buff immunity and whatnot. And then my favorite thing is going to be the lead. I know we're getting there, but just get ready to see this lead here in a moment. Unyielding Onslaught is the first special with a cooldown of 3. It has a Zeta. Deal physical damage to target enemy and recover health equal to the amount of damage dealt. Woo! For each stack of purge on the enemy, this stack deals 30% more damage. And if the Third Sister is at full health after using this ability, she inflicts armor strength. Then the target enemy for the rest of the battle. But that's not it. We gotta keep on moving. Special 2, Reckless Sweep. Cooldown of 4 Zeta, and it's got an Omicron as well on this pupperoni. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Consume a stack of Purge from each enemy. And remember, when Purge goes away, you're kind of keeping a somewhat of a turn meter train on your team. So Purge going away is not a bad thing. If all enemies had at least 1 stack of Purge, inflict defense down, healing immunity on all enemies for 2 turns. And it can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. And all Inquisitors allies gain 20% turn meter. That's not hard. There's usually a lot of purge on the enemy team. So getting this going is going to be a pretty big deal. Inquisitors, one thing I have noticed with this Datacron recently, if they can get a turn meter trained home, they're really good. It's like an Emperor Palpatine lineup, but a lot more durable, with a lot more control, and a lot more abilities to utilize. So seeing they're adding turn meter is going to be a huge deal for this team. But we're not done yet.
you're going to inflict that defense down on healing immunities on all enemies for 2 turns. So I think the main difference here that you got to note is that it is still evaded, resisted, and can be dispelled, and you're not getting Terminator, but still, AoE defense down on healing immunity, not a bad deal regardless. But in Grand Arena, all Inquisitors allies gain critical damage up for 2 turns and have their cooldowns reduced by 1. And this is the thing about Reva that's going to make me appreciate this team more. Granted, they're making you have absurd high relics. It's basically, oh my gosh, it's almost like a galactic legend at this point. Almost. I know it's kind of pushed to definition, but you know, you need to get the Inquisitors to get Grand Inquisitor, and you got to upgrade all their relics to then do this. It's kind of it's like a journey event between a galactic legend, something like that. But it's going to pay off, I think, potentially, because of all these cooldown reductions, and there's a lot more that we got to talk about. Unique 1, driven by revenge. Omicron upgrade. Third Sister gains 30% max health, 30 speed. That's a lot. That's like a leadership ability baked into her unique. Third Sister takes reduced damage from percent health damage effects at the start of the battle, and when she's defeated for the first time, she gains hatred until she is defeated. So that's held by hatred right there, like with Cyan. Whenever a Third Sister is revived, she gains 100% offense and defense, and it keeps stacking to a maximum of 200% and 25% critical chance for the rest of the encounter, stacking to the max of 50%. Whenever Purge is dispelled during an enemy turn, or when an enemy uses an attack that damages more than 1 ally, all enemies gain 1 stack of Purge for the rest of the encounter, and Third Sister taunts for 2 turns. So I still don't know if this is a misprint where it says attacker up here, but it's saying it's supposed to be an Inquisitorious tank. It could be one of those kind of like it could be like an IG-11 situation where IG-11 in its nature is a taunting tank, but they categorized it as support and didn't give it a tank role. Maybe for balance reasons, putting her as tank is a little risky because of what Tim Bort interactions, forcing her to taunt all the time. I don't know. It's a little bit odd that it's an attacker, but it's considered an Inquisitorious tank. So it could be an IG-11 situation, and I do see where these attacker attributes are coming from. Look at all that extra damage that's juicing up here. And then while in Grand Arenas, whenever Third Sister's revived from hatred, there's some more cooldown decreases. The cooldown of Unyielding Onslaught is refreshed, and she gains 100% offense until her next attack, and ignore taunt effects for 1 turn. So we're going to see a lot of Reva popping in and out, in and out, in and out of battle multiple times. And again, she's got a lot of cooldown reduction capabilities within this kit. So even though it might seem like a misprint about the attacker tank, I think it makes sense why they said it's an attacker, but it's also a tank. It's a weird one, I will admit. Second unique ability, Impatience. This is pretty much a standard thing with all the Inquisitors. At the start of the battle, if all allies, minimum of 3, are Inquisitors, this character gains 20% critical damage, max health, and offense. One thing about Inquisitors, I will say, even before this character comes into the action, they have, like, on paper, it seems like they do a lot, but I think they do a lot without doing a lot, if that makes any sense with whatever I just said right there. This character taunts for 2 turns at the start of the encounter, and whenever an ally or enemy is defeated, whenever an enemy damages this character with an out-of-turn attack, that enemy's getting a stack of Purge for the rest of the encounter, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever Purge is consumed with a spell, there's that 3% Terminator. So again, very basic, nothing too special. Same thing with a lot of the other Inquisitors out there. But here's the leader ability. What are we going to be utilizing in place of the Grand Inquisitor, especially for Grand Arena? Not sure about Territorials and not sure about Territory Wars just yet. They claim that he still should be useful as the leadership in Territory Wars. We'll see, I suppose. But Harbor Aggression, a 3rd Omicron on this character, and also a Zeta below that tier. Inquisitor's allies gain 40% max health, 20% offense, 30 speed, and are immune to stun. That right there, my friends, is very, very good. Now, Grand Inquisitor, you're immune to ability block, but being immune to stun, I think, is kind of a big deal. At the start of the encounter, and whenever an Inquisitor's ally is defeated or defeats an enemy, all enemies are inflicted with 5 stacks of Purge. Woo! For the rest of the encounter, which can't be resisted. Inquisitor's ally attacks always score a critical hit, if able, against enemies with at least 5 stacks of Purge. Whenever an enemy recovers protection or gains protection, all enemies lose 2% stacking defense. Up to a max of 50 for the rest of the encounter. Now, this is going to be kind of a big deal because in a Master Kenobi team, there's a lot of protection up stuff going on, a lot of protection recovery stuff on there. So this right here seems like it's calling out Kenobi. Since they're saying it's supposed to kind of compete with some galactic legends, her power rivals several galactic legends, and saying all this Kenobi stuff, I want to believe They're really wanting to kick Kenobi in the nuts with this character here. But we're not done yet. In the Grand Arena Sphere, whenever an ally or enemy is defeated, all Inquisitors allies gain defense penetration up for 2 turns. So far, not that impressive, but let's keep moving here. Whenever Purge is dispelled during an enemy turn, that character, excluding Galactic Legends, gains Death Mark for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled or resisted. This, by far, is what is not to say it's the exact thing we were asking for as a community. There needs to feel like there's a bigger penalty for Purge going away. And that's why I said with this current season of Datacrons, when Purge is going away, there's such a huge turn meter train going. There's a penalty for Purge going away. But without Datacrons, there hasn't felt like a negative effect with losing the Purge. This is huge. If you're getting rid of Purge, any amount of Purge, getting Death Mark on you, wow. That is absurd! I never thought I'd say this, but wow, this is looking really good. And the Inquisitors, although we're not going to have her unlocked likely this year, it's going to be a 2023 thing. This is looking like a very, very, very impressive character and addressing a lot of the problems I've had of the Inquisitors. They're not really great in Grand Arena without Datacrons. They're good in territories if I'm trying to be unbiased towards territories. I'm just happy to see they're going to have a more important role. But man, high relics need to get her. Then you're going to need her at high relics to do a mission inside of the territory battles. But it seems like it's going to be addressing a lot of the concerns. The problem is, this is going to be a tough character for a lot of folks that you got to be in a good guild, I'm assuming, to get into phase 3 of all this here. But let me know what you guys think, ladies and gentlemen, across our empire. Is this what you've been looking for out of the Inquisitors? Does this get your jollies going? Does this make you excited for them? I will say this, they've been telling us this, we've known it, but this team, whether we like it or not, it's getting forced upon us as a very important team in the game, required for territory battles, required for galactic challenges. So yeah, it's getting more important, and it's still going to be even more important, whether you like it or not. Thank you for stopping by. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe to our ever-growing empire, because around here we love to say how it's great to be in the empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the empire.